Hey guys, Apocalyptica here on day 8 of NaNoWriMo. It is currently 4:30 in the afternoon. I've been writing for a few hours now and the sun has kind of gone down, which is kind of depressing, so it's going to get dark in the next half an hour or so. That's going to be depressing. Yeah, so I'm kind of just doing a little update. My video that I filmed first thing in the morning has been eaten. Because technical difficulties are a pain, and at least when that happened, that reminded me to back up my novel, which is nice. Because I forgot to email it to myself yesterday because, frankly, 300 words, I didn't really think I'd done anything. I'm feeling a little bit more productive today. So far, I've rounded up about 1,000 words, which is nice. So I think I'm averaging off around 1,200 words a day, which, I'll catch up on myself. I will. I'm feeling a lot more confident about that. I've been listening to Apocalyptica while I'm writing, which is really nice. I've got a bit of an action-y sequence that I'm about to start. So that's going to feed into my word count because, I don't know, vivid imagination. I'm pretty okay when it comes to description and stuff like that. So it'll pour out a little bit better than, for example, dialogue. So, gonna go get some more tea, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Hey guys, so I'm just after having dinner and all that kind of stuff. I've written about 2,200 words so far. I still feel like I could do some more. So I'm probably going to continue on after I've kind of done this little section. Yeah, it's been an interesting enough day in that I've pretty much just sat and wrote. But I found that changing music is actually quite helping me. I don't know if it's helped any of you guys with your writing or anything like that, but for the beginning part that I've read to you guys, and for a little bit after that, I was listening mostly to Bear's Den, which is pretty mellow, pretty quiet. I'm only listening to music at 14% on my laptop and whatever, so it's fairly quiet, but it's just for kind of the mood, I guess. So it was nice, it's kind of gentle, it's kind of thoughtful, I guess. Then, which gets picked up by the Bandits, I got up Apocalyptica. Apocalyptica has kind of been the theme tune for the last couple of days, and then today was a bit action sequency and still is a bit action sequency, so I've moved on to Rammstein to kind of amp it up, I guess, and make it really exciting. And I'm like, when it kind of settles down again, I'll probably go back to Apocalyptica, or if I need something much more mellow, I'll probably go for something like folk earth or something like that. Kind of listen to it that way just to kind of get the mood the same. Now, this isn't really something I've ever done before. The last time I attempted something akin to a NaNoWriMo, I kind of just made a playlist of music and just played it through no matter what, so that I would get into the mindset, was the idea. Was that if I only had this music on, it would put me in the mood to write. I'm liking this because it's making it less kind of samey. It's making it more, I don't know, varied, it's a little bit more interesting, and it means I can match the pace of the writing with the pace of the music. So at the start it is quite a lazy sort of a read. At the start it's quite slow paced, stuff is happening, but it's not driven by panic or fear. It's just driven by, I need to fix this freaking water wheel. It's, a minor disaster, but it's mostly just what are we gonna do? It's an internalized thing, whereas later on it becomes fighting for your life, wondering whether or not you'll ever see your dad again, and wondering if your dad thinks that you're dead, and knowing that there's no way for you to tell him otherwise, and hating everyone around you for putting you through this and putting your father through this, and feeling completely helpless. There's nothing you can do, because if you run away, they pretty much know where you live, and all they need to do is alert the guards that there is a girl who can use magic, who works at a water wheel, or works at a sawmill. There's very few girls that work at a sawmill in the area because, you know, they kind of have, you know, they kind of have the monopoly going there. So she kind of can't run away. So she has to go along with stuff or commit suicide. Those are her only ways to escape this, or to deal with this, and she doesn't want to die, so she doesn't really have an option, and there's that kind of tension, so I kind of like that I've got that driving force behind it. Now, to be fair, like, Apocalyptica is quite gentle, because it's, you know, cellos and whatever, and I've been trying to keep to Plays Metallica by 4 cellos and Inquisition Symphony, because they're pretty much entirely instrumental, because I find it really distracting writing when I can hear lyrics. Now, Bears Den was a bit of an exception there, but when I'm writing quickly, then it's kind of hard because I start writing in lyrics and whatever else. Rammstein is okay because while I understand the majority of the lyrics, it's still my third language. It's not as big of a problem when it comes to taking down words, because when I'm writing, my brain is functioning in English. So that's nice. That and my German is actually terrible, so it's probably helpful. If I tried to type in any of the words, they would just all be spelled wrong. I think that's kind of what's happening. I can't spell in German. That's the main thing that's probably saving me there. But I don't know. I guess if it gets really intense, I'll have to move on to like Slayer or something. Something really thrashy. Or I don't know, dubstep or something. Who knows? But yeah, no, just it's interesting to kind of have that influence that music has. So yeah, if any of you guys know of any, I don't know, any music that you want me to listen to, by all means let me know. Particularly if the music is, you know, kind of calmer than Rammstein, but has that kind of edge of conflict in it. So whether that's a kind of a really good bass line or some really cool drumming or whatever, just that kind of tension in there, because while the energy might drop, Aura is still a prisoner and she still hates everyone around her, and she still is terrified that her father, you know, is going to be completely heartbroken and she doesn't know what he'll do. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go back to work and talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay, hi guys. So I've written nearly 3,000 words now, like 7 words short of 3,000, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm still writing. I'm not done yet. It's only 8:30 and I'm not in work until 12 tomorrow, so I'm still going because I'm really like pumped right now. I'm really happy I took that break yesterday because it's kind of left me a little bit refreshed and everything. I'm also really happy I didn't get out of bed until like 12 o'clock today, but I'm being pretty productive and I'm liking that. But I just wrote this bit and I'm not really going to give much context to it, because it's quite a bit into chapter 2. I'm nearly done chapter 2 now at this stage. I just wrote it, and one of those beautiful things, I told you before that I write characters, I only give them kind of bare bones descriptions because when I start writing them they kind of take over and do their own thing. And I kind of knew that this part was coming. I'd kind of planned it out, but it turned out a little bit more intense than I'd intended. Now, again, this is first draft, unedited, so the pacing might be a little bit off, but the character of Cyrus has taken on a really, really dark kind of demeanor. He's really creeping me out right now, if I'm honest. So, yeah, I'm just going to read it out and see what you guys think. Oh my gosh, it's just, ugh. It actually, like, I wrote his dialogue and then afterwards I was like, holy shit, this is dark, man. So I'm definitely keeping that in, because if it made me do that, I don't know, I'm assuming it'll make other people do that too. So I guess a bit of context is needed. The bandit clan, including Aura, is after jumping a bunch of guys in the street. So that's kind of what's happened. The same road that they picked Aura up on. Alright, fine, you win. We'll leave all we have with us and go. He tripped over his words in his haste to get them out. The others nodded and babbled their agreement with their companion's decision. I'm afraid, sir, that option is no longer available. These dogs don't stop once the command is given. Casper gave a dry snort of laughter. Cyrus's fist tightened on the rope around my neck until his hand shook with the effort.
Without any planning beforehand, the bandits advanced on the travellers as though it had all been planned. A pair each went for the men with the handcarts. Garrett went for one of the men with no burden. Caspar went for the one that had acted as spokesman for the group. Cyrus stood, holding me on a very short line. The travellers' yells of fear turned to panicked screams. The blades that struck them were used less than efficiently, so their pain was dragged out. The travellers fought back with all the energy they could muster. No sense in reserving any for later, if later might never happen. One of those with the handcarts fell into a pool of his own blood and urine. The voices of the others had begun to crack as they shredded their vocal cords. It reminded me of the sound of a pig being slaughtered by an apprentice butcher, a sound that had given me nightmares as a young child. "Bring one to me," Cyrus called out. Caspar grabbed his by the hair and dragged him bodily before us. The man gibbered at Cyrus's feet, clearly hoping that he would be told to pick himself up and go home. "Here you go, boss man," Caspar said with a hint of sarcasm in his voice. He looked at me. His face was completely blank, his eyes were hard, and his hands were balled into white-knuckled fists. "Thank you," Cyrus nodded formally at Caspar, while the man sweated between us. Cyrus turned his attention to the man. You heard my comrade here call us dogs that don't stop once ordered to start." The man nodded manically, eyes wild. I could see his pulse on the side of his neck. "Yes, sir." "Do you see how this one had to be kept on a leash?" He jerked me closer to him. The man nodded, staring at me like I was a monster. "I'm going to let her off her leash now." The man began begging Cyrus not to let me off, that he would rather he ended himself than see what I could do to him. He begged to commit suicide. I wondered what I looked like that he was that desperate to escape my wrath. I hoped it was just because of the context of the situation rather than me looking like I could do something awful to him. Cyrus turned to me, eyes flashing the way they had before we'd left the camp. "You are going to kill this man," he told me quietly, menace in his voice. "If you do not, I will kill him so slowly in front of you, so that he screams until nothing but blood comes out of his throat. And then I will make you scream like that. Scream until you beg me to end it. Scream until you can't even beg me. Do I make myself clear?" I had to dig harder into the earth for strength and force the water in my eyes to retreat as though I were building a dam so that I would not cry. I could not manage words, so instead I nodded sharply. My heart was burning in my chest as he ceremoniously removed the collar from around my throat. He pressed a knife into my hand. It was the sort that my father and I brought with us when we were out in the woods hunting or felling trees, small enough, with slightly curved flat blade. The man started begging me not to hurt him. I knew that if I didn't, he would hurt worse. I knew that I had to hurt him. I hoped that I could hurt him very little and kill him very quickly. The fact that I was thinking something like that made my stomach twist painfully. How intense is that? I'm reasonably pleased actually with this. I'm quite proud. It needs a little bit of cleaning up. There's a couple of tense errors and stuff like that that I had to edit as I was reading. But yeah, quite pleased. Anyway, back to work. Okay, hey guys, I thought I'd just wrap up this video as it's heading towards 10:30 in the evening. I'm still going to be writing, but at the moment my word count is resting at a very happy 12,252 words, which means I've written 3,549 words so far today, which is pretty ridiculous. I'm very proud of myself and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be up early and writing because I'm not in work till 12, but that means I'm not leaving work till 9 o'clock, and then I think the next day I'm in late as well, so I'll be able to do a little bit in the evening and all that kind of jazz. If you guys have any questions about what I'm doing or any kind of stuff like that, drop them down the bottom. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on all the things that will be in the description box as well, and keep dropping the comments. You guys really keep me going, because not today, not tomorrow, maybe not the next day, but eventually I will be asking for names on the title of the novel itself. I'm kind of putting that off for as long as I can so I can get a better feel for
what it's actually about, because, you know, a couple of days ago I didn't know what the second half of the book was going to be like. So I don't know, is the long and the short of this kind of experiment and this challenge. But hopefully sometime we'll come up with something that would be suitable. So yeah, until then, I'll chat to you guys tomorrow.